How's it going? And welcome to Creator Spotlight episode 7, where we delve into the psyche of 3 new creators from around the world and get them to tell us about what it is they do, what inspires them, and a few curveball questions that I throw at them just to see if we can mix it up a little bit, make it a little bit more entertaining. I'm glad we've made it to episode 7. I've been so lucky to be able to edit together these trios of interviews over the last few weeks. It's been really great to see people and how they respond to the questions, and indeed the response I've been getting from the videos of other people watching them and finding out about new creators and subscribing to their channels. So it's been a worthwhile journey and I've enjoyed doing it. If you'd like to be featured on a Creator Spotlight, just let me know in the comments below, get in touch. I'll hook you up with a brief and we'll get you included in one of the shows. The 3 pillars today are coming from Ireland, Sweden and Switzerland. Geographically, we're getting around the place and it's been pretty cool. So without further ado, I'll introduce you to my 3 guests today. All the way over in Sweden, we have Katie. Representing Switzerland, we have Paul. And our man in Northern Ireland, Stephen. Nice to see you all. I'm glad that you're all here taking part. So why don't you let everybody know who you are, where you are, what type of creator you are, and what inspires you to create.
Thanks, Mikey. So glad to be here.
My name is Katie, and I am a creator I live on Gotland. It's a small island in the middle of the Baltic Sea connected to Sweden. It's a part of Sweden. And I live here with my husband, he's Swedish, and our twin daughters, 2 3-year-olds. So life is not boring. The thing that inspires me to create is saving the precious memories of life and being able to look back on those things, but really to build connections and just to have fun. Sometimes I really want to share things that I'm really struggling with or working through, but lately, I've really just been more motivated for connecting and recording memories. That's what's bringing me the most joy right now.
Hi Mikey, thanks for coming all the way to Switzerland. My name's Paul Hammett. I'm a ski instructor in Zermatt in the Swiss Alps and a very enthusiastic photographer. Love taking pictures of action sports, skiing, climbing, biking, etc. And also landscapes. My inspiration for this comes entirely from the mountains themselves. I love getting involved in the sports in the mountains, so it's a natural progression to try and capture that with the camera. And in the last couple of years I've actually started making videos and chucking them up on YouTube of me taking photographs in the mountains. So yeah, that's me. Welcome to the Alps.
Yeah, thanks Mikey. Nice to be here. Mikey McManus. I do highly recommend that you call yourself the Mighty McManus if you haven't ever done that, because I think it works particularly well in your accent. The Mighty McManus. I would encourage you, Mighty McManus, go for that. But yes, thanks for having me on here. My name is Stephen Reid. You can add a J if you want. It's a bit pretentious. The J is only there because I couldn't buy StephenReid.com and my middle name's James, so I bought StephenJamesReid.com. I'm here in Northern Ireland. I'm a full-time commercial filmmaker, and then on YouTube I basically make videos about stuff that I'm interested in. So the outdoors, a lot of running, cool camera technology, specifically looking at mostly action cameras and drones, that kind of thing, and just whatever other nonsense happens to interest me at the time. What inspires me to create? I think if I boil that down, honestly, it's definitely not money, because I'd be a lot richer. I think what inspires me the most is when I'm able to make something that gets a reaction from people. When I'm able to make somebody smile, when I'm able to make them feel sad, and then maybe make them smile again afterwards, be able to make them laugh, or feel inspired, or try something new. That's where I get the most pleasure out of it. I mean, on one side, I do love just being creative and making things, and I get pleasure from that. But I think I find it most fulfilling when it provokes something positive in somebody else. An example of that would be when it comes to the videos I make about running. I've started going to races now, and I would have people who would say to me, I started running because of you. And that's like, that for me is the best thing ever. So it's been able to, it sounds really cliched to say improve people's lives, but it's be able to get something, for me to get a positive reaction from other people. I find that the most inspiring, to make other people go, whoa, that is what makes it worthwhile for me.
Is there a piece of work that you've done that you're particularly proud of?
I've been just really proud of a lot of the videos I've made, especially the ones that I made leading up to deciding to run every day for a month. I didn't actually end up recording a video every day because I had actually started running about 9 days before I started doing it daily, but anyways, too much information. I really put a lot of time and effort into those. I think the most recent video that I'm pretty proud of is just looking back on the happy moments of April, kids finding us painting Easter eggs and the kids painting them, just looking at that and just seeing how it fits to the music. It just brings me joy.
Struggled to stay proud of a lot of the work that I do. I look back at photos that I was really proud of when I made them a few months ago, and now look at them and think, oh, they're a bit average. I guess I'm proud of a couple of the videos I've done a year or two ago in the ice cave. That was pretty cool with my friend Henry. That's yeah, I like the video. It was a good kind of adventure, but I look back at the photography and think it's not brilliant. And yeah, there was a video or two from last year, a landscape which I really like. But I don't stay proud of stuff for long.
Yeah, there's a few bits of work I'm really proud of, but I think the thing that for me was the biggest achievement recently was, and it's very different from my normal content, it was a commercial piece. It was when I made a 3-4 minute long stop motion animation film as a Christmas promotion, or as a Christmas promo. I think one of the big influences for me in getting into filmmaking was watching things like Wallace and Gromit when I was a kid. Actually, if you watch The Wrong Trousers, if you haven't seen it recently, it's really short, but it is actually the perfect film. Just the way the structure follows all the way through, and there's actually some really good cinematography on it. It's just really well made. I was a big Wallace and Gromit fan as a kid, and I always wanted to do my own stop motion project, and I basically spent 6 months learning how to do it. In fact, here's one of the puppets I made. That took a month and a half to make. It's so much work. Yeah, but 6 months to make. I made next to no money on it, but I'm incredibly proud of it, and it's called The Martian and the Pigeon, and you can go watch it. It's on the YouTube.
What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever worn?
I'm not somebody that worries too much about wearing embarrassing clothes. Like, life is meant to be fun and comfortable in my book. So, nothing comes to mind.
The most embarrassing thing I've ever worn. Skiers wear some pretty awful stuff at the best of times, but I grew up skiing in the 80s when there's all sorts of monstrosities going on. So the most embarrassing thing I've ever worn is probably something from the ski wear of the 80s.
I'll tell you what's the most embarrassed I've been around an item of clothing. And it's not so much something that I ended up wearing as something I did not want to wear. It was when I was probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old, and there was like a fancy dress parade through my home village, and my mum borrowed some costumes, chicken costumes, from somebody, and we were going to dress as chickens, and I was okay with it until it came to the point I realised I would have to wear yellow tights. And I can remember putting them on and being horrified at 7 or 8 years old, whatever it was, at the concept of wearing these yellow tights. I think I cried because I didn't want to have to wear yellow chicken tights. So yeah, that was definitely the most embarrassed I've ever been by something I've worn. Since then, I think my sense of embarrassment about things I'm wearing has kind of gone. Just that I was so traumatized, just the prospect of prancing around with skinny yellow chicken legs.
What movie would be greatly improved if it was made into a musical?
You know, I don't have a lot of movies at the top of my head, but the first thing that came to mind is Lord of the Rings. Just what a killer song it would be of Samwise Gamgee singing to Frodo, "I may not be able to carry the ring, but I can carry you." Like, oh, it would be so epic. It would be just like being alive. Everyone would just want to use it for their auditions. And, oh man, that song needs to exist. Sam! I love you, Sam Gamgee! Friendship goals!
Yeah, I'm not really into musicals, so I can't think of a single film which would be improved by adding a musical element. But I imagine a comedic introduction of music during a Bond fight scene or a chase scene or something would be quite funny.
Jurassic Park. Imagine Jurassic Park as like a you would play it kind of straight, but the music would be ridiculous. Be like, da, 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 here comes the dinosaurs, a T-Rex, Diplosaurus, gonna rip your throat out and guzzle on you. We are running away, there's some velociraptors on our tail. Oh, look over there, it's a humpback whale. There's a brontosaurus tail. That would be quite cool. Dennis Nedry got his face spat on by that weird dinosaur with the frills. Jeff Goldblum takes his shirt off and the lawyer gets eaten by a dinosaur. Yum, yum, yum. Definitely Jurassic Park.
What fictional character, amazing in their own movie or book or what the likes, would be totally insufferable in real life if you were to spend every day with them?
I don't know. I'm not the kind of person that finds too many people insufferable. It's just really hard to imagine that. But maybe I just haven't exposed myself to enough movies and TVs, shows and books and things. But I haven't had a lot of time for that in the past 3 years. I have twins. But any character that's just particularly complainy and dark and just self-absorbed and can't see past themselves. Just any character like that. I really wouldn't want to be stuck with them. I wouldn't, in the mundane aspects of life.
I think Sherlock Holmes is a pretty amazing fictional character, but to meet him in real life would be a mixture of incredibly annoying and I imagine quite terrifying, watching him analyse every little detail of what he sees in you. Yeah, that would be annoying.
You know what? You know what would be really, really annoying? Not that I actually watch not that I actually like any of the DC stuff, but The Flash. The Flash would be just, hateful. Can you imagine living with somebody who can get everything done like that? You know, imagine how annoying that would be. I mean, in theory, it'd be great. You know, you get to have this person, you know, can run around the world in seconds, and they can do things in a fraction of a second, and it's amazing. Can you imagine what that person would be like to live with? You get up in the morning, you've got a massive pile of work to do. You sit down to do it. You hear a little, and it's the Flash. Done all his tasks for the day, and he's sitting chilling on the sofa, and you're sitting down to work, and you wouldn't even want him to help you, because then you've achieved nothing. You would just hate him. You would just have him. You would kill him. Yeah, there's nothing worse than you really struggling to do something and someone else just sailing on past. If you've ever been running, you'll know what that's like. If you're struggling on a hill and some sod goes zipping on past you, you don't think, wow. You think, I hate that person. Well, and there's a little bit of admiration in there as well. But yeah, imagine living with that person. Ugh.
What would the world be like if it was filled with male and female copies of yourself?
Well, that's an interesting question. Male and female copies of me. Well, there wouldn't be any loneliness. Because we would all be reaching out to each other and talking and sharing from our hearts and asking deep questions and watching TV shows together. And helping each other with things, and just happy to have people that wanted to spend time with us. Why does this sound so nice? Does it make me sound like a really self-absorbed person? I'm sorry if it does. I'm not. I like these questions. Keep them coming.
If the world was filled with people like me, I imagine the cities would be empty, the mountains would be full of people, and there'll be very little proper jobs getting done.
I don't think it'd be very good, because one, to get anything done, I need to be like hyper focused. But I'm also the worst person to have in your office because I'm incredibly distracting. If I'm in an office with other people, I just find all kinds of ways to procrastinate by distracting others. You know, paper airplanes, throwing things at people, just general distractions and nonsense. So it would just be a world of utter chaos. Nobody would be getting anything done. Everybody would be distracted, and yeah, it wouldn't be good. I think a lot of people would die, mostly me.
Is it a place that you've visited that you would return to time and time again?
Oh, yes! Oh my goodness, so many cool places I've been. I want to go back to all of them. I want to go back to all of them. Some places that really stick out to me are Carcassonne, France. Oh, it's so cool! This big city wall, this big medieval city with these tiny little streets, and it's so cool. I love just the fresh, so fresh you can cut it with the knife air in Switzerland, and the chocolate, the cheap chocolate was the good one. I would love to go back to South Africa, to St. Francis Anglican Church, and see all the wonderful people there. Too many places. I've been to like 26 different countries in my 30. Well, I didn't really do as much traveling once the kids were born. So in 30 years, I was in 26 different countries.
I've been skiing a couple of times in the north of Norway, in amongst the fjords, and that's a fantastic place with these amazing mountains coming straight out of the sea. Brilliant place to go skiing, and also to take photos. So I would happily go back there any day of the week.
I'd like to say some fancy foreign location, but the truth is, if I look at where I actually go, it's places that are nearby that I can go to and again and again. And for me, one of the places I love to go to the most is a place called Glenarth Forest Park. This forest park at the top of this incredible U-shaped valley up in the Antrim Glens. And it's just that place that if I have a day and I'm free and I want to go for a run somewhere and I'm not sure where I want to go, I will always go back to Glenarth. It's always where I'll go. It's got forest trails, it's got bits you can climb up, high views, it's got this amazing boardwalk around waterfalls. It's just got a little bit of everything in a 5-mile loop, and it's not some crazy spectacular location, but yeah, for me it is my go-to place if I want to go back somewhere again and again. It's always Glenarth, if I'm honest.
What artists or creators inspire you or give you enjoyment when you watch their work?
I'm glad you asked. I love a couple different channels. One of them I just really connect with is Mrs. Space Cadet. Erin is training for a marathon, and she's just so real and funny, and not like, other women that are like, I have to be beautiful all the time. She's just like herself and gritty and, and silly. She's got such a great sense of humor. And Omri Goldman, he's got stunning videos. I wish he would upload more. Omri, if you watch this, I can't wait for you to upload again. There's a really great creator called Bark Noor Z. She's got really great stuff. She's so creative. There's a channel called Jimmy James Jamrock. He's so original. Yes, I have some channels featured on my YouTube channel, so you can see some other great people.
There's a couple of photographers or creators that I've got some inspiration from over the years. One is Ben Tibbetts, who's a mountain guide and photographer and just produces some beautiful work up in the mountains. And on the sort of action side, Jimmy Chin just creates amazing stuff. He's a badass, and that's something that is inspiring and something I would aspire to, I guess.
When I started getting into video, I watched a lot of creators who made videos about filmmaking. I did that for a couple of years, back about maybe 6 years ago. But I don't think that I was inspired so much as I was educated. For me, I think I get inspiration to try new things, probably actually from more mainstream artist films, like movie directors, like people like Steven Spielberg or Christopher Nolan or James Cameron. Big James Cameron fan. I think James Cameron is a genius at making movies that make people react. Storytelling is totally cliche, but he's just really good at it. Yeah, kind of directors like that. On a smaller scale, actually I'll tell you a YouTube channel I really like, and it's one called iFondue, and I really like his channel because he basically sounds like Gru from Despicable Me, and I just love how he does his reviews. He just puts so much effort into them. They're not kind of haphazardly thrown together like what you would see from some big, more popular names who kind of, their approach to their reviews is basically to make the process of the review a spectacle in of itself. He's just very, very good at giving you the right information. So I find what he does inspires me when it comes to how I review gear. When it comes to sort of more dramatic content that I make, I'm always trying to make it feel bigger or epic, or yeah. What gives me particular enjoyment is I'd say something that has improved my cinematography a lot has been Better Call Saul TV show, because if you want to watch a TV show that's got really, really considered cinematography that helps tell the story, it's just fantastic. Just some of the places where they put the camera. It was the same with Breaking Bad as well, but just so clever. And sometimes you can tell they've gone to a huge amount of effort to get like a camera angle. I remember there was a shot in I think it was maybe back in Breaking Bad where they had like a trolley being pushed through a hospital, and there was a camera on the wheel of the trolley, and it was great because it was just this like really unstable wheel wobbling through the hospital, and just made you slightly uneasy, which was just exactly what they were trying to do. But to get that shot, you would have had to mount like an arm out on the top and bring it. It's been really, really complicated shot to get, but it was just non-lazy filmmaking like that. I find that very inspiring. If I'm coming to do like product shoots, or where I want to like really show off a location, that's what comes to mind. Shows like that where I want to plan and consider every shot really carefully. Sorry, that was a really long-winded answer.
If you were arrested with no explanation, what would your friends and family assume that you've been lifted for?
If I were arrested, I think my family, I know my husband would assume. I don't know what the other people would assume that haven't seen me in a while. I'm absolutely positive that it would be for helping someone that I wasn't allowed to help. You know, like those people who get arrested for bringing water to people and food to people going over borders and things, because I don't care what the law says. If there is somebody that I can help, I'm not going to deny who I am or my faith or my convictions, and I'm going to help somebody. And I'm willing to go to jail for that. because people deserve to be treated humanely and with respect. Yeah.
If I was arrested with that explanation, I'm pretty well behaved. It's unlikely my folks would probably think I've been arrested on account of my dog's behaviour more than mine. I don't know. But I live in Switzerland. There's all sorts of weird rules and regulations here. So I guess the most likely thing I'd get arrested for would be making noise of an evening or speeding on my bike or something silly like that.
I'm trying to think of which thing it would be that people would assume. Trespassing. Maybe. Something to do with it. I always get accused of flying. Every time there's a newspaper article about a drone flying over an airport, people are like, "Oh, was it you, Stephen? Did you fly your drone over the airport?" I think probably, if I'm honest, most likely it would be causing an explosion. You know, not deliberately, but I think that's what they would expect. I do have a long history of sort of mild pyromania. In fact, I was at one point wanting to do more experiments and things on my channel, and I started researching how I could, like, at one point I was going to make my own rocket fuel. Don't know if I should be saying this on here. I didn't do it, so it's fine. I was investigating how to make my own like sugar rocket fuel, and it's something they do in the States all the time, so I assumed it'd be fine for me to do it. Bought the ingredients and looked into it, found out it's completely illegal in the UK. You would get arrested under like the Explosives Act, like the Terrorism Act. So that put an end to that. But yeah, I think if my friends or family heard I'd been arrested, they would probably think I've blown something up or set fire to something or something like that, or maybe accidental trespassing.
And that's it. Thanks very much for tuning in to episode 7. Thank you to my guests today, Katie, Paul and Stephen. Thank you all for being here.
So when I say goodbye, I give hugs, and then I say nostrils of death. But if that's too weird for you, feel free to edit that out.
Hey Mikey, thanks very much for the invite. Very grateful to be in the Creators Spotlight. See you soon. Ciao.
Well, Mikey, thanks for having me on. I do apologise for recording over 20 minutes of footage. I hope you don't mind cutting that down. Hopefully useful. Thank you very much for having me on, and I wish you all the best with this series. And definitely, you should start calling yourself the Mighty McManus.
Thanks to you, the viewers, for tuning in to episode 7. I'll leave all the links below to all the creators that we've spoken to today, so you can go and check out their work. Like I said at the beginning, if you'd like to take part in this Creator Spotlight, then let us know. I'd love to have you here. I'd love for you to take part. But until then, I will see you all on the next episode, and I hope you're all staying safe and sane wherever you are. Thanks again. I'll speak to you all soon.